Reverence, an ancient custom which obliges any person easing himself near the highway or footpath on the word reverence being given him by a passenger to take off his hat with his teeth and without moving from his station to throw it over his head, by which it frequently falls into the excrement. This was considered as a punishment for the breach of delicacy. A person refusing to obey this law might be pushed backwards, hence perhaps the term Sir Reverence. Reversed, a man set by bullies on his head, that his money may fall out of his breeches, which they afterwards by accident pick up. See hoisting. Review of the black cuirasses. A visitation of the clergy. See crowfair. Rhino, money cunt. Rib, a wife, an allusion to our common mother Eve, made out of Adam's rib. A crooked rib, a cross-grained wife. Ribaldry, vulgar abusive language such as was spoken by the Ribalds. Ribalds were originally mercenary soldiers who travelled about serving any master far pay, but afterwards degenerated into a mere banditti. Ribbon, money, the ribbon runs thick, i.e. there is plenty of money. Cunt, blue ribbon, gin, the cull lushes the blue ribbon, the silly fellow drinks common gin. To rib roast, to beat, I'll rib roast him to his heart's content. Rich face or nose, a red pimpled face. Richard Snarry, a dictionary, a country lad, having been reproved for calling persons by their Christian names, being sent by his master to borrow a dictionary, thought to shew his breeding by asking for a Richard Snarry. Rider, a person who receives part of the salary of a place of appointment from the ostensible occupier by virtue of an agreement with the donor or great man appointing. The rider is said to be quartered upon the possessor, who often has one or more persons thus riding behind him. See quartered, ridge, a guinea, ridge cully, a goldsmith cunt. Riding St. George, the woman uppermost in the amorous congress, that is, the dragon upon St. George. This is said to be the way to get a bishop. Riding Skimmington, a ludicrous cavalcade in ridicule of a man beaten by his wife. It consists of a man riding behind a woman with his face to the horse's tail, holding a distaff in his hand, at which he seems to work, the woman all the while beating him with a ladle. A smock displayed on a staff is carried before them as an emblematical standard, denoting female superiority. They are accompanied by what is called the rough music, that is, frying pans, bull's horns, marrow bones, and cleavers, etc. A procession of this kind is admirably described by Butler in his Hudibras. He rode private, i.e. he was a private trooper. Riff-raff, low, vulgar persons, mob, tag-rag, and bobtail. Rig, fun game, diversion, or trick, to run one's rig upon any particular person. To make him a butt, I am up to your rig, I am a match for your tricks. Rigging, clothing, I'll unrig the blouse, I'll strip the wench. Rum rigging, fine clothes, the cull has rum rigging, let's ding him and mill him. And pike, the fellow has good clothes, let's knock him down, rob him, and scour off, i.e. run away. Right, alright, a favourite expression among thieves to signify that all is as they wish, or proper for their purpose. All right, hand down the jemmy, everything is in proper order, give me the crow. Rigmarole, roundabout, nonsensical. He told a long rigmarole story. Ring, money procured by begging. Beggars so called it from its ringing when thrown to them. Also a circle formed for boxers, wrestlers, and cudgel players by a man styled Vinegar, who, with his hat before his eyes, goes round the circle, striking at random with his whip to prevent the populace from crowding in. To ring a peal, to scold, chiefly applied to women. His wife wrung him a fine peal. Ring the changes, when a person receives silver in change, to shift some good shillings and put bad ones in their place. The person who gave the change is then requested to give good shillings for these bad ones. Rip, a miserable rip, a poor, lean, worn-out horse, a shabby, mean fellow. Rippons, spurs. Ripon is famous for a manufactory of spurs, both for men and fighting cocks. Roratorious and uproars, oratorious and operas. Roaring boy, a noisy, riotous fellow. Roarer, a broken-winded horse. Roaring trade, a quick trade. To roast, to arrest, I'll roast the dab, I'll arrest the rascal. Also to jeer, ridicule, or banter. He stood the roast, he was the butt. Roast meat, cloves. Sunday or holiday clothes. To cry roast meat, to boast of one's situation, to rule the roost, to be master of or paramount. Roast and boiled, a nickname for the lifeguards who are mostly substantial housekeepers and eat daily of roast and boiled. Robert's men, the third old rank of the cunting crew, mighty thieves like Robin Hood. Roby Douglas, with one eye and a stinking breath, the breech. Rochester portion, 2 torn smocks, and what nature gave. Rocked, he was rocked in a stone kitchen, a saying meant to convey the idea that the person spoken of is a fool, his brains having been disordered by the jumbling of his cradle. Roger, a portmanteau, also a man's yard, cunt. Roger or tip of the buttery, a goose, cunt, jolly Roger, a flag hoisted by pirates. To Roger, to bull or lie with a woman, from the name of Roger being frequently given to a bull. Rogues, the 4th order of cunters. A rogue in grain, a great rogue, also a corn chandler. A rogue in spirits, a distiller or brandy merchant. Rogum pogum or dragum pogram. Goat's beard eaten for asparagus, so called by the ladies who gather cresses, etc., who also deal in this plant. Romboils, watch and ward. Romboiled, sought after with a warrant. Rome Mort, a queen. Romeville, London cunt. Romp, a forward wanton girl. A Tomrig, grey, in his notes to Shakespeare, derives from arompo, an animal found in South Guinea that is a man-eater, see Hoyden. Rook, a cheat, probably from the thievish disposition of the birds of that name, also the cunt name for a crow, used in housebreaking, to rook, to cheat, particularly at play. Room, she lets out her foreroom, and lies backward, saying of a woman suspected of prostitution. Roost lay, stealing poultry. Ropes, upon the high ropes, elated in high spirits, cock a hoop. Rose, under the rose, privately or secretly. The rose was, it is said, sacred to Harpocrates, the god of silence, and therefore frequently placed in the ceilings of the rooms, destined for the receiving of guests, implying that whatever was transacted there should not be made public. Rosy gills, one with a sanguine or fresh-coloured countenance. Rotan, a coach, cart, or other wheeled carriage. Rot gut, small beer, called beer a bumble, will burst one's gut before it will make one tumble. Rovers, pirates, vagabonds. Rough, to lie all night in one's clothes. Also called also roughing it, likewise to sleep on the bare deck of a ship, when the person is commonly advised to choose the softest plank. Rough music, saucepans, frying paps, poker and tongs, marrowbones and cleavers, bullhorns, etc., beaten upon and sounded in ludicrous processions. Rouleau, a number of guineas from 20 to 50 or more, wrapped up in paper for the more ready circulation at gaming tables. Sometimes they are enclosed in ivory boxes, made to hold exactly 20, 50 or 100 guineas. Round dealing, plain honest dealing. Roundheads, a term of reproach to the Puritans and partisans of Oliver Cromwell and the Rump Parliament, who it is said made use of a bowl as a guide to trim their hair. Round robin, a mode of signing Roman remonstrances practised by sailors on board the king's ship, wherein their names are written in a circle so that it cannot be discovered who first signed it, or was, in other words, the ringleader. Round sum, a considerable sum. Roundabout, an instrument used in housebreaking. This instrument has not been long in use. It will cut a round piece about 5 inches in diameter out of a shutter or door.